Hi there, my name is Kevin Weinkoop, and I am the principal of Middle College High School, and I'm so very excited that you're wanting to learn more about us. We're an amazing, small, supportive learning environment here in Seattle. A lot of people think that we are just the best kept secret in all of Seattle Public Schools. So first of all, today we're going to take about 15 minutes to go through and talk about our program, explain how it works, hear from a couple of our fabulous students, one of our teachers, just to give you an idea about what it's really like. And so the first thing you should know is that middle college is kind of a term that nobody knows what it means. But really what we are is an early college program. We're preparing all of our students to start college in their 11th grade year and then just use that success to just propel themselves into an amazing future. We have two sites, one at Seattle University and one at North Seattle College. And down here, you can see what our website is too, if you want to learn more on that as well. It's middlecollegehs.seattleschools.org. And we got our buddy Drake over there giving you some ideas about even better than graduating and going to college is getting your college for free during high school. So next, what is a middle or early college program anyways? Well, we're part of an actual national consortium of middle colleges across the entire country. And part of what that means is that we teach students on college campuses. That's why our sites are at Seattle University and at North Seattle College. And part of that is that we prepare you to start college while you're attending high school. So in 11th grade and 12th grade, you'll be doing full-time running start, which means you're a full-time college student. And we're just going to be providing you that enhanced running start, which we'll talk more about in a little bit, that really makes a difference for you to be able to be successful when you are doing that. Now, a little bit about who we are. Our mission is Middle College High School will create equitable opportunities for a successful post-secondary education by empowering students. That sounds like a lot of words, but the basic idea is that we're going to help you to be successful in college, and because we're going to do it through emphasizing social justice practices and really using a transformative educational system to support you on your way into college. And now our mission students, now we have all kinds of different students, every ethnicity you can think of, different language backgrounds from different places, but we really target students that are at least one of either the first in their family to work towards a college degree, students of color, or students from low-income families. Not everyone is, but those are the students we really go out of our way to target, that we are here to serve. Now, what is the ideal middle college candidate? It's really someone who prefers a small, supportive learning environment. If you want to go to a 1,600-person high school, middle college is not for you. We're really about small. We have about 20 students per cohort per site. So it means 20 students per grade level at North Seattle and 20 at Seattle University. So you can think about the entire school is really going to be about 160 students at most. We're really looking for students who may be the first in their family to attend college, those that are impacted by racism and or poverty. But then what are the characteristics? So we want people that really want to be active in our school community, get involved with things, that has a strong desire to attend college. You have to be willing to attend school regularly. We accelerate to get you ready for college in 11th grade, but to do that, we need you here. We need you on site so that we can work with you. And with that, with all of our support, we're going to make sure that you're passing your grades and that you're really taking ownership of the learning environment. Now, you got lots of options. Most people in Seattle think about going to their comprehensive high school, and that's kind of the straight ahead path that they're thinking about. But that's not for everyone, right? Our students are ones who really are seeing their future goals and dreams and want to take advantage of it. And they're taking this turn off here, and that's what we're going to be looking into next. And so I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second here so I can introduce you to two fabulous students, people that I just am so grateful for, that I want you to get a chance to get to know a little bit more. And so first of all, I'm going to introduce you to Ariana. She's a junior, and the last 2 years she attended our Seattle University site, and now she's taking classes at Seattle Central College. But I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about her experience and just kind of why middle college has been the right choice for her. Ariana?
So I knew when I was pretty young that I was definitely going to go to Running Start, and I was definitely going to get a degree and then go off to college. But I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to do it, how the credit transferring would work, and which classes I needed to do. And so when Running Start got pitched to me, I knew that middle college got pitched to me, I knew that this was probably exactly what I needed, a small closed high school where I could focus on my academics and learn what I needed to have in order to go to Running Start. And that's exactly what I did. I found that I was kind of a little over prepared for Running Start. Some of the classes I took were ones that were incredibly familiar to me. And while other classes were super hard, I found that others were something that it took a lot of your brain power in order to do, but as long as you kept your head down and you got all the work done, the classes wouldn't be too hard. And I think middle college did a really good job of teaching me that and getting me prepared for how fast-paced everything was going to be. And I needed to be on it. I need to know when all of my assignments are due. I need to know what time, the time frames I'd have in order to do them. And that's something that I'm just really grateful for. And I was also really grateful for the support that I had while doing Running Start. I'm always able to come in to the Seattle U campus and ask teachers for help or have discussions on things that I need. And that's just something I'm really happy for.
Excellent. Thank you very much for sharing. She's a superstar. All of our students are superstars, but Ariana is just one of those that's knocked it out of the park in her first round of Running Start. So congratulations on that. Now I want to introduce you to one of our 9th grade students. Jeremiah is a 9th grader at the North Seattle College site. And a year ago, she was in the same place where many of you probably are right now, trying to decide, where do I want to go to school? Is it the big school that I want to go to? Or maybe is something a little bit smaller the right place for me? So Jeremiah, why don't you talk about your choice and kind of whether you made the right one and what's working for you at Middle College?
Hi. When I was in 8th grade, my biggest goal was to find a school where I would have the support that I needed to get me to college. And when I heard about Middle College, I was like, this is the right choice. And I have not doubted it since I got here. I always have a teacher there that is there to help me and support me instead of always busy and running around trying to help everyone. And since we're so small, everyone is including, and everyone is welcoming, and I never feel alone. I always have Mr. Kevin or Mr. Phillips to talk to if I'm getting overwhelmed. And my teachers, they're awesome. Um, they are very detailed in what they teach, and when I need help or I don't understand something, my teachers have the time to sit there and break it down to help me understand and comprehend what they're trying to get me to learn. And so my grades are widely impacted by that. And we may not be the biggest school, but I think we're big enough to where I do still have a social life. I'm not just, off from the world, and I love it here.
You're filling my heart. I love it. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thank you, Ariana. We really do appreciate it. Students love to hear from other students, and your perspective is just invaluable. So thank you very much for everything you had to share. Moving on, in just a couple of slides, you're going to get a chance to hear from one of our teachers, one of our fabulous math teachers, Matt Palmer. But I do want to share a couple more slides before we get to that point. So give me 1 second to turn that back on, and we will jump right back into things. All right. So what do we provide at Middle College? So we talked about the small class sizes. So approximately 1 teacher for every 20 students. I used to work at a large comprehensive high school, and I would do the math for students. Like in a 50-minute class, there's 35 students in your class. You get less than 2 minutes of your teacher's time every single class period. It's not enough. You got to do extra. Well, at Middle College, that's not the situation. Right now, we have about 10 students in most of our cohorts. We're trying to max out at 20 students, and our class periods are 85 minutes long. The math completely changes. You're going to work with your teacher on a daily basis, and they're going to know you on a daily basis, and they're going to know everything that works for you and everything that can help you to be successful. We also go out of our way to make sure we embed social justice and ethnic studies into our program as a vital part of just your regular education. It's not a separate or a special thing. It's an important part of everything that we do. We talked earlier about the enhanced support in college classes in your Running Start. This is key. Students at all of the Seattle high schools can do Running Start. That part is not unique to us. But the enhanced support that we provide, the fact that every 11th grader is meeting twice a week with one of their teachers, one of their middle college teachers, and every senior's meeting at least once a week with one of their middle college teachers. That's unique. That's something that's not happening at the other schools, and it makes a huge difference in the success of our students and really helping to increase their level of preparation so that they can be successful like Ariana and Jeremiah are being in their college classes. Well, on campus, you get access to all these different university amenities. One key one is university tours, which is amazing to have them in our classrooms. And all of our students, every single one of our middle college students will graduate with college credits and potentially an AA or an AS 2-year degree, which is exciting. A little bit about what kind of classes you're going to take. In 9th and 10th grade, the schedule is very similar. We do this 4-block classes at a time, which adds up over the course of 4 quarters to having 4 quarters of English and math for both years, 3 quarters of science and social studies for both years, and then a couple of electives sprinkled in each year to make sure you're getting exposed to some other ideas, just really able to deepen your education and get you everything that you need. And the exciting part about this is that in only 2 years, you fulfill most of your high school graduation requirements, which really sets you up to be successful and really allows you to concentrate on your college classes soon after that. And that's when we get into 11th grade. Better move myself over to the other side so you can see. In the 11th grade, we try and align all of our classes as much as possible. So students are in a cohort together and they can work together to be successful in their classes. So they start out with English 101, they'll start in an art class and some other class that the cohort gets to decide. In the winter quarter, they're going to take a math class. You're take English 102 and something that you get to choose again. In the spring quarter, we'll have a CTE class and a stress management class, which we've been looking into and we think is going to be really valuable. And remember, each quarter, students have to leave room in their schedule for their mentorship class so that they can continue to work with their middle college teachers. And we can always adjust things. If you really know exactly what you're going to do and the requirements aren't easy to be met, we can make sure that we can adjust your schedule to get there. And then in the 12th grade, you get a lot more flexibility. You can work towards your 2-year degree, or some of our students are actually going to choose these amazing professional certification programs that they have at the Seattle colleges. Programs like in medical technicians or the Maritime Academy or culinary, things that are really appealing to students and that can get them into great jobs straight out of high school or after 1 year of college after high school, and just be making a really livable salary in a great, exciting program. Couple reminders, high school graduations must be completed by the end of the winter quarter, and spring classes do still earn college credit. They just don't apply to graduation, so that you get an idea about what's coming up. Now, instead of just talking about this slide about what's challenging, I want you to be able to hear from one of our teachers. And so I'm going to stop sharing again and then introduce one of our fabulous math teachers. This is Mr. Matt Palmer, and he teaches at the Seattle University sites, and he can probably tell you how long, but he's been there for a while, and so he has a great understanding of what we do at Middle College and about what we can do for the students. Matt.
All right, thanks, Kevin. Yeah, I've been teaching at Middle College now for 4 years. This is my 5th academic year, and I started when the program just came to fruition, so it was like a great opportunity for me to venture into this form of education that's kind of new and exciting. And I've done several open houses. I've talked to parents and students, and I often get this question like, why is Middle College such a good fit for my student or for me? And often when I answer that question, I tend to answer that question with an answer to a different question, which is, what makes Middle College a great place to teach at? Like, what makes it a great place for a teacher? The answers are usually the same. So I'm going to sum up my experiences in 3 points. I know it's cliche, 3 points, but I think that this basically sums up 95% of my feelings at Middle College High School. So the first point is, at a regular comprehensive school, teachers often have 150, possibly even more students to assess and to teach. So imagine grading tests for your 150 students. So you got 150 quizzes or something like that. Now imagine grading them and giving feedback that's meaningful. Maybe you spend, 2 minutes possibly on each quiz, each assessment. That's 300 minutes doing the math. We spend 300 minutes, that's 5 hours just assessing and providing for one quiz, and giving this feedback. And 2 minutes is, not very much at all. It's fairly limited. So now let's take that same 300 minutes and apply it to the student body at Middle College High School. At maximum, there are going to be 40 students at each site, 20 ninth graders and 20 10th graders, again, doing the math. 300 minutes split between 40 students is about 7.5 minutes of feedback that we can provide for each student, which is about a difference of 5.5 minutes doing the math. So 5.5 minutes, that seems insignificant, but it certainly isn't, because at middle college, we can spend that 5.5 minutes doing amazing things. We can write entire paragraphs of feedback. We can provide example problems. We can sit down with a student one-on-one in advisory, and we can have conferences. We can have class time that's dedicated to providing personalized instruction. And that level of detail is very difficult to find. It's unparalleled, and especially in a large school district like Seattle. So as a teacher, I want to give the best support to my students, and this school, its structure and its program allow me to do that. So that's point number one. Point number two, and this point might be more specific to me as a math teacher, but I have a feeling that other teachers have a similar feeling towards this process. Each student at Middle College High School can earn 4 high school math credits during their 9th and 10th grade years. And I can see students beginning from Algebra 1 all the way to pre-calculus, 85 minutes a day, which, by the way, is also another plus. 85 minutes is a great, it's imagine having to start a lesson like 20 minutes in. 50 minutes, 55 minutes doesn't seem like a very long time at all. So I can dive into that subject in depth, but I digress. So imagine having to start at Algebra 1, which is a foundational math class, and moving all the way up until pre-calculus, which is a college level class. For me, that's a dream. Because what I can do is I can take the baseline 9th grader, someone who's coming in and probably has fears of mathematics, because it is the most commonly feared subject in high school, mathematics. And why is that? Because, you have to take all this knowledge and add more knowledge and add more knowledge, and you got to take multiplying and turn it into exponents. Then we have these variables, and things can get lost in the shuffle. And so when a student feels uncomfortable in their own knowledge of a subject, that's when they start to fear it. So what I can do in middle college, high school, is I can start from the beginning, the rudiments of algebra. We can go all the way back to something like arithmetic and multiplying and adding fractions. And if a student has difficulty with some of the basic skills, I have the time and the resources to be able to help that student. And that's why this program exists. Remember, point number one, I can spend that extra 5.5 minutes. And remember, that's only on one quiz. Extra 5 minutes on each student gives me the opportunity to rehash these foundational learning objectives. That's point number two. Point number three, so at each site, we have a math teacher, we have a social studies teacher, science teacher, language arts teacher, and sometimes we have a guest teacher, perhaps teaching something like art or health. So that's about it. We have 5 teachers, and we see each other every day, and we speak to each other every day, and we discuss the good and the bad, things that students have to work on, things that we need to work on as teachers. And that's our program. That's step number 3. Okay, wow, that's point number 3. That's it? It's just you get to talk to teachers at your school? And the answer is absolutely. Because this open and direct line of communication with my students, others, teachers, that allows me to change how I instruct my students. And I remember working at a quad A school, 1,500 students, and it was pretty rare for teachers, even within a department, to directly communicate, let alone across the different departments. And sometimes you go entire days without speaking to colleagues. It's a very difficult thing. You get lost in the shuffle. So sometimes we might email and try to communicate that way, but we know that electronic communication is sometimes misinterpreted. We all found that out during COVID. There's just no substitute for that immediate face-to-face interaction between you and your colleagues. And this way, we can focus our immediate attention on the urgent things for our own students. Is a student having organizational issues in one class, or is it in all classes? What if a student is having issues outside of school that are affecting their studies? These kinds of questions are vital to how we differentiate our instruction and how we can accommodate for our students, especially those who are underserved and underprivileged. And so those are the 3 points. Those are three reasons why I really love teaching at middle college. Of course, there are more. Of course, we can talk about the emphasis on social inequalities and creating equity for our students, and there's so many other things that we could talk about, but those are the top 3 on my list. So that's about it.
Thank you, Matt, for sharing all that. It is always best to hear from the people involved. So you heard from a couple of students, you heard from Matt. Thank you for sharing your time. And we just got a couple more slides before we get you all on your way. So thank you. Reshare my screen again here in 1 sec. All right, so this is, you just covered kind of the expectations we have, so I'm going to keep going there. Sometimes students want to know some real basic questions. What about lunch? What do we do for lunch? Well, even though we're not on a Seattle Public Schools campus, we actually do get Seattle Public Schools lunches. And so you'll have access to some free food at both sites, but you also can go to the university cafes. You're able to get food in the neighborhood if there's something nearby. We have microwaves and refrigerators at both sites. So you've got lots of options. You know, it just depends on what's going on, but a lot of people just bring their own food, and it's great, and it works out well. Are there electives? Well, you know, yes and no. We're a small school, so we add a couple of electives each year, but a lot of your electives is going to be when you're in running start as a junior and senior. You're going to be able to choose a lot of your courses. Sports teams, are there sports teams? Well, we're too small to have our own ones, but you're still able to actually participate in the sports teams at your neighborhood school. A bunch of our students actually do choose to participate. We have students doing baseball, they're doing ultimate frisbee, they're playing basketball. It just depends on kind of what they're interested in, and we can make it work. And then is there homework? Of course, there's homework. Every class is going to be a little bit different, but yeah, it's school. There is some homework. It's never going to be unreasonable, though. We have 4 classes at a time, not 6 or 7 or even 8, like some schools in the city. But you know, the teachers are going to work with you, and they're going to expect you and help you to grow. And sometimes that means homework. Now you're ready to go, right? You've heard enough. How do I learn more? How do we enroll? How do we become part of this? Well, we have orientation days at each site, official ones that happen in February every year, but you might not even be watching this in February. And so I'm not going to talk about those days in specific. The best thing you can do is to go to our website, middlecollegehs.seattleschools.org, and look for the enrollment information there. And then 2 is contact Philip Page. He's an amazing success coordinator that we have that works in the North at Seattle College site. He coordinates new student process for enrollment. Reach out to him. You can come visit us at one of the sites. If there is time that we're doing one of the open houses, we'd love to have you come to that. But really seeing it come to campus is what makes the difference. If you have questions about any of the other things, you can see academics. You can reach out to our counselor. We're running START, our college and career specialist. And just in general information, Katie Jones is a great resource. So all of those email addresses are on there. You can pause to write those down if you'd like. But then you're ready. It's time. This is you. After choosing Middle College, it's the right school for you. We'd love to have you learn more. We'd love to get a chance to meet you, to join our fabulous community, to join our fabulous students and our fabulous teachers. I'm just so excited to get the opportunity to meet you. Come visit us, reach out to Philip, and you're going to get a chance to come see us. And this is going to be you. Have a great day. You're going to make the right choice.